think specifically one thing that brought some maturity to our friendship was that initially in the beginning we were so codependent, as like everything has to happen within us, like being five people. And then when we began like focusing on cultivating individual relationships, like I remember when I started having individual calls with you guys, which was not something I did for maybe the first 2-3 years, unless it was Kelly and Rachel. Then I just saw that like I had lots of better relationships that way, and it was more sustainable for as we grew older and like where our lives were taking us to have those foundations. Because a group dynamic is only as good as its parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't like if you and somebody else in the group, like that's yeah. Anyways, yeah.
So true and so real. Um, and I guess one of the questions that I have is I'll direct it to you, Oyinda, and Eunice, you can chime in as well, if you have anything to add, just in terms of like our friendship now looks very different from what it was before. And now there's even been periods of time where we've had to relearn each other as we have grown and as we have developed in to becoming more of who we are, right? And so have you seen that? Like, what are some of the changes that you've seen? Um, and I wish Kelly was still here because like
Yeah.
Kelly's an example of
Kelly's a
somebody who has like grown
completely
so
different
like almost
person.
a completely different person
Person.
from when we first met her in first year to who she is now. And I would honestly say that that is the case for a lot of us right now, where we have grown a lot more. What we like is different from what we did in first year. And so we're just navigating, like relearning each other, figuring out what the other person likes and what has that meant for our friendship, and how have you like relearned your friends in different ways?
Good question. Let me think. I think that like kind of like what Rachel was saying, that when we first for the first 4 years of our friendship, we saw each other in some capacity every week. Like if we weren't in person, we were on the phone. If we're on the phone, we were on sleep. We're always on the phone. One thing about we were always on the phone. And so there, kind of like what Elsie said, there was like a codependency, and we did things, everything together. Our lives were happening all at the same time, and we're all on the same goals. We're all in school together. We were all kind of graduating together. We were all having this kind of thing together. So everything was happening to us at the same time. So we were living our lives together. And then when we kind of graduated and we weren't on the same pace anymore, not that we were just going in different directions, nothing bad. And so that kind of made it hard because we no longer, we stopped living our lives together, but now we were telling each other things that were going on in our lives. And there's a difference between that. So now we're updating instead of actively living together. So that was a hard transition that
Mm.
I like, oh, Rachel's doing her thesis and someone else isn't doing it, or then Elsie's not Elsie, Eunice is doing her thesis and the different kinds of things, or I'm graduating, or I'm working in this space while someone else is doing this, or Elsie's in law school, and then Eunice and I weren't in school, and then some people are in law. It's just a lot of things were happening at different points in our lives, and then and we because of the intensity of those things, we're now growing up. We stopped talking as often. We're no longer on the phone anymore. We're trying to meet maybe once a week if we can, maybe once. It got to a point where it was once a month if we could get on a group call, if you could see all five of us on a call. And that became very difficult for me because I was like, hey guys, where's my friends? Where are my friends? And I think I remember having such a hard time with that and being like, okay, so you people don't want to be, I will block out you people. And I remember saying, oh, so you guys don't know.
Yeah, Oyinda threatened to block us at least maybe
Maybe
once a
like,
month.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean
And
it.
in some ways, rightfully so, because like she was
Thank you.
communicating that she missed us, and
Yeah.
we were all
No,
just kind of like,
and
you
to
have to
add on to that,
mature.
Oyinda would send messages in the group chat, no
Yeah,
response.
no response.
I'm glad
So,
that people see it because it's true. Let me even talk my stuff. I would call the group chat, and I believed wholeheartedly that they would see my name first and wouldn't answer. Because let someone else call that group chat, people were picking up.
Okay,
Were
so
picking
we
up.
okay, I don't think okay,
I
okay,
don't
okay,
think
okay,
it
okay.
had gotten to that level. I don't.
Let's tell the truth now. Let's tell the truth. Anywho, that's not important.
The
But what
point
all
is,
that I love them too. But so I think a lot of it is like you had to. We were also in terms of learning yourself is
mm,
was a big thing of knowing who you are, what kind of relationship you want, how you can have that while other people are growing into an adult. Because we were teenagers, now we're adults, and really kind of what Kelly says, managing expectations and being okay with this new version of Rachel, and knowing that Rachel's busy, so you can't talk to Rachel all the time. And you can't necessarily, not even expect it, but doesn't mean that she loves you less, doesn't mean she cares less. She loves you just as much, but her capacity is different and being able to respect that. And then Elsie is in law school and she's trying to do law school. And if you know law school's hard. And you know she can't do this thing in this way. Or also having different, um, finally we start having different relationships. And there was a point where we were all going to different churches. And so now we have friends outside of my loves. And that was also a whole thing of like having different relationships out of my loves and trying to be like still trying to keep connected while having different relationships that we had to prioritize as well. And then we were having going through different walks. We were always going to a walk of faith, but we're all going through it differently. So that was also a big thing about like my walk of faith was different than the girls and I was on different things. And then we tried different things and wow, I've talked so much I don't remember the question.
we try different things and we continue to try different things, right? We
Right.
have weekly prayer call and like we've tried different seasons where it's like on Thursdays we do catch-ups and that
One
hasn't
Thursday, by the way. One
I don't know.
Thursday.
we did one Thursday.
We did one
We
Thursday.
did. We did. But like I think to your point, Oyinda, the two things that stood out to me that you said is number one, like having constant checkups on what do you want out of this relationship? Where are you at right now? What capacity do you have right now? And it's almost like, are you in this? Like, are you still in this? Do you still want to
No.
be in this? Are you still invested in this? Is this still something that you want to be a part of? And we do have those conversations. Often or on a pretty like regular basis, and I think that that is important. But something that I will say is, and Kelly said this at the beginning, she said that because I have gone through those hard things before, now that I go through the hard things now, it doesn't feel or doesn't seem as, oh my gosh, like this is going to be the end of us. Yes, we do still sometimes have those moments, but because we really went through some things at the beginning and we allowed ourselves to experience the highs and lows of friendship and of close friendship in early university, now when we encounter things, I will speak for myself. Let me just speak for myself. I know you guys aren't going anywhere. And unfortunately, we are in this for
Bold.
life. And that is very bold to
It's a
say
lot
and to
to talk.
maybe even potentially put on the internet. If one of
Right.
you
Can you
does me
imagine?
so super
Can you
dirty,
imagine?
you know, we find out in 5 years somebody, you know, does Rachel dirty, whatever. The point is, as it stands right now, I am deeply invested in this friendship. And because we've gone through those trials and hard times, I know that we will make it through. And I'm confident of that. And I trust your character, each of your characters. I trust it very deeply. I know that you have the best intentions for me. Oyinda, you say this all the time of even when I am hurt, even when I am upset, I trust that my friends would never hurt me intentionally. And I love that you say that. And I remind myself of that too, is that you would never do or say something because you know that would hurt me, even though you guys know me very well and you know the things that would hurt my feelings, but you never do things intentionally to hurt me, and I really, really love that, and I
And I think
appreciate you
that's
guys.
important in friendship in that you have to be a safe space for each other, like being
Mm,
able to like just as much as I can go to Rachel and I can trust her with her I need to be a person that she can come to me and trust me with whatever she has to say and whatever her feelings and her emotions are. And um being that person to your friends and cultivating yourself to be kind of how like to be water to other people. Kind of like where Elsie had said, like the grass is wet. The grass is something where the water. The grass
yeah,
is
the grass is greener where you water it.
the grass is greener where you water it, and it's you have to be water. So, and that's an important skill that I've had to learn how to do with my loves. I've had to learn, and I always say to other people who I've made friends with, I was like, I learned how to be a friend through my loves. I
Mm,
learned how to be a friend. I learned how to be a friend to other people. So all the people experiencing the friendship that all my adult friendships and they're experiencing the benefit of that, that came from how I learned to be a friend, how I learned to be a safe space, how I learned to be vulnerable, how I learned to be honest, how I learned to allow vulnerability with these group of people. And so now people are benefiting from the hard conversations, the healthy conflicts, the bananas, the group calls of it all.
yeah.
So that's yeah.
I love that. Being a part of my loves taught you how to be a friend, and I would say that's the same for myself as well. Okay, so in wrapping, just want to ask
Okay.
one final question for us all. And maybe Eunice, you can start with your answer, but I would love to know, like, what is the one thing that being a part of this friendship has taught you that you want to tell other people, and that one thing is going to help you in the years to come.
Hmm. One thing that this friendship has taught me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this might sound cheesy and like preachy, but I think that friendship in a very interesting way is a form of ministry. So like you have to
Another day, another word. Another day,
right.
another word. Another day,
Woo!
another word.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you say that again? Because what?
Friendship is a form of ministry in the sense that it's really not all about you, but you really have to think about the fact that the people that you meet, the people that are in your lives, they're not it's not random, but I really do believe that it's strategic. It depends on your perspective and how you look at it. We didn't meet by accident, and when I say it's a form of ministry, you're pouring into people. You can't give what I guess you haven't received. So, and I think I came to this realization or conclusion when the times where I wanted to give up, the times where I wanted to walk away, the times where it was just too much. Like we're having these difficult conversations. This is uncomfortable. I feel exposed. I feel naked. But that's the reality of it. You know, it's like it's almost like as if I'm a what do you call those? My brain is working in French right now. A
Tu peux
caterpillar.
l'aider en français? Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, right, we cater to every single audience. Yes. So like before you become a butterfly, you know, you have to go through that whole right, that process. I don't know
Metamorphosis.
what it's called. Yeah. Or it's like you're shedding old skin to become a newer and better version of yourself. So when you surround yourself with people who are different, we're all coming in with different backgrounds, different upbringings,
Yeah,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Different I don't want to use that word, but different traumas, different heartbreaks,
yeah,
different challenges of life. So when we all come together, in a way, it's like a mirror. It's like you're looking at yourself in a mirror in a way.
yeah.
So, but I think one takeaway is when you surround yourself with Christ-like minded people, expect to be challenged in a way where you're becoming more like Christ, if
Very.
I can say that. Yeah.
A lot of
Um,
words. Yeah.
and that really does come with having those hard conversations. It does come with being honest with yourself, because I don't remember who said it, but one thing, like when you come in with your own insecurities and you're not honest with that, with God or even with yourself, you may project those insecurities towards other people. And I think I can speak for myself. I've done that in this friendship earlier on in the years. Um, I didn't want to deal with being vulnerable. I didn't want to deal with talking about how I was feeling. But when someone says, "Oh, Eunice, like speak up, like we want to know what's going on, like you should be more vulnerable." To me, like I see it as a threat, but that's because I wasn't secure in who I was.
Yes,
I
you
wasn't
did.
secure in the fact that, hey, like you can, this is your safe space. They don't mean any harm. And if they giving people the opportunity to show up for you, giving people the opportunity to sharpen you, it's yeah, it's not easy, but if that's one thing that I've, well, not one thing, but many things that I've taken away from this beautiful friendship. Yeah.
If I had an actual microphone, I would drop it right now because that was a mic drop.
Oh, wow.
Boo.
Elsie! I actually do have a
Boo.
microphone.
Boo.
Mic drop. That was so good. Elsie. Elsie. Our WOG.
Well, oh, I can't believe you said that. Because now I'm like, if I say what I want to say, I'm just playing into the stereotype.
What
Oh.
stereotype?
No, I was gonna say that friends who pray together stay together. but
But so true.
but that prayer alone will not sustain your friendship.
True.
Wait, okay, no. Sorry. Say
Mhm.
that whole thing again.
Okay. Friends who pray together stay together, but prayer alone will not sustain your friendship. Um
Write that down.
so lol. Yeah. I feel like I had to learn that more than you guys.
Hey, this is me trying to hold myself back from speaking in tongues. My God.
So to all headphone users, please,
Sorry.
just right.
Sorry. Oh my goodness, you're gonna see a huge audio peak. Go ahead, Elsie, please.
That's so funny. Anyways, I will say that, like, so for instance, something that we've been doing for a little while now is we've been praying every week,
A
doing our
little
best to
while.
pray together.
2 years?
I don't know. I know for sure
I think
1
it's
year, but I
2
don't know if
years.
It's
It's
2
about to be
years.
2 years. 2 or 3 years.
wow.
Like 3 years of trying, 2 years of
Of
being
trying.
consistent.
Yeah. And honestly speaking, like we've talked about how like we've tried Thursday and like, here and there it is what it is. Like we've done one Thursday, but those Mondays, don't get me wrong, it's not like five people always show up, but like the Bible says where two or three are gathered, right? And I feel like usually we have at least two people, even if
Yep.
it's for 5 minutes,
Yep.
praying and keeping that altar going. And I
Yep.
do think that there's been a special grace for Mondays where, like, even when everything else is happening, like, God will allow at least two people to, like, show up and do those prayers. And when we've had nothing else, I do feel like because of the investment of those prayers, um, that there's just been grace to keep this friendship going. And I do feel like those prayers have moved mountains in situations where we might have otherwise walked away. I feel like those prayers have done things that we don't even know about and we may never fully know about. So I think that's important. But at the same time, there have been clear moments when all we ever did was meet on those prayers. And because there was lack of intimacy, because people didn't know what was going on in others' lives, because there was unspoken and uncommunicated hurts or distance that was building that people had not acknowledged, it then also began to affect the prayer times. And if it was just up to me, I'd be like, everybody suck it up. Let's just pray. Let's keep the altar burning and we'll figure out the rest later. But like it was having an effect. Like it was clearly having an effect. And I remember one time when I don't remember the specific like time, but what happened was that we were supposed to have a prayer meeting, and it was just so obvious that like we didn't need to pray at that moment, but what we needed to do is needed to use that time to catch up and like actually talk and be vulnerable, because if we didn't, um yeah, like things would just continue to snowball. But now, even as I'm speaking, one of the interesting thing that's coming to my mind is that that in itself is a form of prayer. And I think it challenged what does prayer truly mean, right? Because like when we look at the book of Psalms, it's like sometimes the prayer is like, my heart is distressed. Why is my soul so discouraged within me? Like things of that nature. And even when you're pouring yourself out, even the Bible talks about like confess your sins to one another so that you may be healed, right?
Mm.
So even in those moments, and like obviously like we were in those moments like with God, right? So I feel like he was also allowing there to be healing, and just going through the motions of like praying, yeah, prayer warrior, yeah, woman of God, like that in that moment would not have served or helped our friendship. um so I think that's one thing I'm learning. And sometimes, like, since then, we've had to have those moments where we're like, okay, maybe we need to check in and then close out with a short prayer as opposed to doing what we typically would, and just being flexible with the spirit with that. So, yeah, prayer alone is not enough, but prayer is a very important foundation.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. And I love how you kind of flipped it at the end of talking about what prayer looks like. We even see it, sorry, I can't remember the verse right now. Maybe if I'm top editor, I'll put in the verse right now, where people are talking amongst themselves and it was counted as prayer, right? And like, I think about this all the time. The conversations that we do have, I agree with you. I think they are a form of prayer, and I think that there is just like so much power in being honest, in creating a space where you can bear your soul out and where you can say, "I am not okay. I'm not doing okay. I'm feeling all these different kinds of things. I'm struggling with this. I thought that I was over it, but I guess I'm not over it, and I need help, and I need you to speak life into me." And I feel like we have really shown up for each other in that way. Something that I love and I appreciate about this friend group is that I know that even though we have all kinds of things going on with our lives, if I was to call one of you and say, like, this happened to me, I'm struggling with this, I need help with this, like, you guys will drop everything and will be like, okay, like, let's do this, like, let's help. I want to be there for you, and I don't take that for granted. I know things have not been easy, but I am so grateful that you have my back, and I want you to know that I will continue to have your backs. And no matter what it might look like, it might not be exactly what it was in first year, but it is still good and it is still beautiful. And I learn so much from you. I want to end off by saying that, like, when I look at each of your lives, I admire you so much. Whoo, don't cry, Rachel. That's not okay.
Crying.
No, boo. Like
Not
Oyinda says.
miss.
No, I
It's
Oyinda
support
says,
important to be
crying.
vulnerable.
tomato,
I
tomato,
I
tomato.
support crying. I support crying.
No. And I like it because you guys make me laugh, which makes me not want to cry anymore. So I'm not going to cry.
Oh,
Um, but I admire you so much and I learn from you so much. And you say things and I'm like, I never thought about it that way. Or you're right. Like, that is such a new perspective. I trust that you are hearing from God and that you can speak life into me. And you are being excellent in each of your different fields. So whether it is public policy, whether it is mental health, whether it is law, whether it is worship, whether it is whatever the case is, public health, mental health, the point is, like, you are doing the dang thing in each of your own lanes and you're killing it. And I am your biggest supporters. And yeah, that's what I wanted to end off this podcast by saying. Do any of you have any last words before we end?
I'm gonna end it. Oh yeah, go ahead, Eunice.
No, go ahead, Elsie.
this might be like super spiritual, as you can tell. I might be that person on in the friend group, and it's okay. It's okay. Um, but we all have friendships that were there for a season, and for whatever reason, like, we've moved on from that. Like, it happens, right? Like, some people are meant to be in your life for different reasons at different times, and even in a friendship like this, we've seen how things have changed and things have shifted. But especially if you're a believer and you're listening to this, you will know. You will know when there's a friendship or a relationship that you're not meant to be giving up on. You will feel it. It won't always be easy. But if you're feeling that nudge of like, there's something more, I need to stick this through, or like, we've gone through a rough patch, but like, I'm feeling called not just to forgiveness, but to restoring and reinvesting in that relationship. As I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to me. Do it. Do it, because you have no idea what that person or those people are going to mean for your destiny, and even just for the kingdom of the Lord and what he wants to do. The Lord does such unique things when he brings people together. And I can say that for me personally, I have such a strong conviction that, for instance, in this particular friendship group with these four ladies, there have been tough times, but I truly believe it is a divine covenant friendship. I don't even know why. I don't even know like the full implications of it, but I know that my life is linked to these ladies. And if you're feeling something similar and you're on the verge of giving up, please don't, because it is worth it and there's light at the end of the tunnel. So that's me.
Yeah, that was really good. But and I also want to add,
But
no, not but. It was really good. But no, why do I keep saying but? So sorry. Um, this is it's in a way linked to what I wrote um on my newsletter, and it's about coveting. Um, learning how to be content with where you are right now and the current friendships that you have in your life. It's so easy to, look at what other people have. Um, and I'm not even just talking about materialistic things or where people are at in terms of status, but in terms of friendship too. You can fall into the trap of coveting, of coveting other people's friendships, of wanting someone else's friendship or someone else's friend group. And I just want to encourage someone to not fall into that trap, and that you too can have a beautiful, purposeful, God-centered friendship if you first seek God, and if you're honest about it with God, and if you ask him, "Hey God, I want to be surrounded by this kind of person. I want um faith, Christ like-minded people in my entourage." It's something that you can have as well. Just don't focus on what you don't have, but set your eyes on Christ and he will do it for you. Because we can't do life alone. We need community, we need people, and Rachel says this a lot, it takes a village. So, yeah, don't fall into the trap of coveting. Um, yeah.
and I want to add, lastly, in that after you saying, it's like for people who are in friendship groups and you are struggling, and or if you're not struggling, one of the biggest things for what's helped us is being able to see our even if I didn't mean to hurt you, that something I did hurt you, and that's a part that I played a part in you getting hurt, and being able to acknowledge that. I know that if I come and I say, Rachel, you did this thing, Rachel will acknowledge what I'm feeling and also be able to acknowledge she's not pride. We don't really quant in this friendship group. We're very quick to say, you know what, that's fair. I see how this happened. And that takes being able to do that on both ends is what really causes and which allows really peace to flow and allows problems to be solved. Being able to acknowledge that like intention doesn't negate impact. And so when you are having conflict, if you're having these troubles with your friendship groups, being able to check yourself and be like, what part am I playing in this before the whole like, take this, don't, before you take the stick out, I want to take the log out of your own eye, like being careful to recognize. So that's something I've had to learn, and kind of answering Rachel's question is that like, intention does not negate impact. So even if I didn't mean to do it, I did it. And my feelings and the person and the relationship matters to me. And so fixing that matters. So making sure to acknowledge that. So check yourself before you wreck yourself, innit?
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for being on my podcast. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for 6+ years of friendship. I hope this is not your last
Shout out
time.
to 10.
I know 10 is coming. What will we do for 10?
Aruba.
Okay,
Yes.
We'll see. Anyways, thank you to anybody who made it to the very, very end of this podcast episode. Of course, let us know what you thought. Looking forward to engaging in the comments. And until then, I will see you on the next episode. Bye.